Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Jim Rohn, The Weary Summit. Ethan Cole stood atop the rooftop patio of Grounded's new flagship cafe in Miami, staring down at the sparkling water below. 6 months ago, his world had been spinning. Out of control, shipping delays, influencer backlashes, and a cash flow crisis that nearly shut him down for good. Now, the cafe hummed with customers. The subscription box was scaling globally, and his Brew Bold podcast had climbed into the top 10 of business shows on Spotify. Yet inside, Ethan felt hollow. He had fought for every win late-night strategy sessions, marathon episodes of Learn and Implement, and endless fail-fast pivots. But success hadn't come easy, and he wasn't sure if he was strong enough for what lay ahead. Then an email blinked open on his phone, subject line in bold. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. A masterclass invite. Ethan swallowed. The sender was a digital summit hosted by the Rohn Academy, celebrating Jim Rohn's legacy. He clicked the link and watched a short clip. Jim's simple yet searing words, delivered decades ago, cutting through modern complexity. Like a laser, success isn't found in wishing circumstances were different. It's forged by upgrading your skills, your beliefs, and your standards. Ethan felt a jolt. He realized he'd been hoping the market would soften, hoping for easier paths instead of becoming better equipped to handle whatever came. He booked the masterclass seat in seconds. That moment was the true summit because it marked Ethan's decision to stop asking for easier climbs and start building stronger legs. The mirage of easy. Ethan stepped into the virtual auditorium and saw thousands of entrepreneurs tuned in from around the globe. The host opened with Ron's story, a farm boy born into poverty who rose to become one of the most sought-after speakers on personal development. His secret? He never waited for perfect conditions. He waited for perfect effort. Ethan's thoughts drifted to the tech integrations still half-built on his site, influencer deals still unsigned, the next cafe location still under negotiation. He'd spent weeks hoping for smoother code, smoother contracts, smoother construction. In reality, each delay was training ground. Inspired, Ethan drew 3 lines in his journal. Skill gaps. Where am I underqualified? Limiting beliefs. Which stories are holding me back? Standards. What standards must I raise? Under skill gaps, he wrote advanced e-commerce UX, negotiation tactics, video production quality. Under beliefs, he wrote, I need perfect timing. I'm not a technical founder. Under standards, he wrote, I demand excellence in every customer touchpoint. I require accountability in my team. By the end of the session, Ethan felt lighter. He recognized that easy was a myth and that chasing it meant stagnation. He closed his laptop with a smile. His work was cut out. But now he had clarity. Ownership over excuse. The next morning, Ethan assembled his core team: Maria, marketing lead, Dev, CTO, and Ajay, operations. He laid out his insights from the Rohn masterclass. We stop wishing for easier projects. We start owning our growth. We upgrade ourselves to meet every challenge. He challenged Dev. Which new coding practice will you learn this week? Dev admitted he'd been avoiding a micro front-end framework. Great, said Ethan. You have 72 hours to deliver a demo, he challenged Maria. Which negotiation book will you finish and apply to land a 6-figure partnership by month's end? Maria chose a classic on influence tactics. He challenged Ajay. List 3 operational bottlenecks and solve at least one today. Ajay identified shipping delays and reworked the fulfillment pipeline. Ethan's own commitment, I'll record. For high-quality podcast episodes this month, no excuses about equipment or time. By noon, the team had a new energy. Ownership replaced excuse. Instead of asking why things weren't easier, they asked how they could get better. The shift was palpable. Emails were more proactive, stand-ups more focused, Slack threads more solution-driven. Apprenticeship of failures, Jim Rohn taught that true mastery requires an apprenticeship often to adversity itself. Ethan recalled his last failed product launch, a premium cold brew system. It sat boxed in his warehouse because the user manual was confusing and shipping costs ballooned. He organized a failure fellowship meeting. The invitation read, "Let's dissect every mistake, extract every lesson, and share our growth plan." The meeting. Maria shared how poor partner vetting led to influencer backlash and how she'd develop a rigorous partnership rubric. Dev revealed that lack of automated tests cost hours of debugging and laid out a schedule to implement TDD, test-driven development. Ajay confessed that he'd underestimated warehouse capacity and proposed a dynamic inventory forecasting model. Ethan himself admitted he'd rushed the launch to hit a revenue target missing critical quality checks and vowed never to sacrifice standards for deadlines again. They ended by each crafting a better self contract, 3 concrete improvements, 3 accountability steps, and 3 milestones for the next 30 days. That night, Ethan felt empowered. Failure was no longer a source of shame, but a mentor sharpening his skills. Daily discipline, compound impact, inspired by Rohn's emphasis. On daily routines, Ethan redesigned his morning. Mindset priming, 5 minutes of gratitude journaling. Skill drill 30-minute split, 15 on UX prototyping, 15 on negotiation role plays. Movement, a quick jog on the Miami boardwalk. He tracked each habit in a simple spreadsheet, no fancy app, because Rohn insisted that simple systems executed consistently beat complex systems abandoned halfway. Within 2 weeks, Ethan hit 2 breakthroughs: a user-tested prototype that boosted subscription conversions by 12%, a renegotiated influencer deal, saving 20% in fees and unlocking co-branding rights. He realized the power of small, daily disciplines compounding into outsized results. What once felt like slogging through endless work now felt like sculpting a masterpiece, one clean line at a time. Crafting your narrative, Rohn always said. Your life story shapes your identity. Ethan revisited his own narrative. He opened a fresh document and began writing his story not as a victim of circumstances, but as an architect of impact. I'm Ethan Cole, a relentless creator who transforms coffee culture with purpose and performance. He built 3 pillars under his brand story: purpose, elevate everyday rituals into moments of mastery; performance, blend artisanal quality with cutting-edge delivery systems; people, empower local communities and global subscribers. Alike, every brand asset, website copy, podcast script, packaging notes must echo those pillars. With a refined narrative, Ethan found marketing became far easier. The message resonated. The story sold itself, and prospects converted because they identified with the journey. Mentorship and mastermind. Jim Rohn's rise began under the mentorship of Earl Schoaf. Ethan knew he needed his own mentors. He applied to 3 high-level masterminds, 1 for e-commerce founders, 1 for brand strategists, 1 for digital summit organizers. He invested the fizz, recognizing that you cannot outperform your environment. In his first mastermind call, a mentor asked, "What's your next 5-year horizon?" Ethan hesitated before painting a bold vision, grounded as a global lifestyle brand, content studio, and a mentorship platform. The room leaned in. Over the months, he received direct feedback on product roadmap. He connected with a keynote coach to polish his stage presence. He formed a joint venture with a fulfillment expert, tripling distribution. Mentorship accelerated. Ethan's growth far beyond solo effort and validated Rohn's lesson. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Leverage. Strategies. Jim Rohn preached leverage. Work smarter, not harder. Ethan studied systems, automation, and he implemented content calendar automation, scheduling social posts 30 days in advance, virtual assistants, offloading, customer inquiries, basic editing, and order tracking. Affiliate networks, empowering brand. Advocates to promote the subscription box for commissions by reallocating his time from repetitive tasks to high-leverage activities. Product design, strategic partnerships, and leadership. Ethan multiplied his output without burning out. His revenue grew 3 over 6 months, while his personal work week shrank from 70 to 50 hours. He felt fulfilled, energized, and equipped for the next level. The comfort zone confrontation. Success has a hidden trap. Comfort. Ethan noticed he was resisting a challenging expanding into Asia-Pacific markets. He worried about language barriers, regulatory hurdles, and cultural nuances. Recalling Ron's teaching, comfort zones are where dreams go to die. Ethan forced himself to act. He hired a regional consultant in Singapore for legal guidance. He partnered with a Tokyo-based coffee influencer collective. He learned basic Mandarin greetings to connect authentically within 3 months. Grounded at home, boxers were shipping to Hong Kong, Singapore, and Sydney. The experience stretched Ethan's skills, deepened his resilience, and reminded him that growth always lives at the edge of discomfort. Standards of excellence. Rohn insisted on raising standards. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. Ethan audited every customer touchpoint. Packaging upgraded to 100% recyclable branded materials. Unboxing experience added a personalized welcome card with QR code video tutorial. Customer support implemented a 24-hour response SLA.